Hey guys, I'm Viking YouTube here, back to show some more plunder that I've acquired over the last little while. Been a little behind on making these videos, so stuff is kind of piled up, so this is going to be a two-parter. Got a nice little stack for this part right here, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Starting with Sensanum with Ashes. If you're not familiar with this band, it is a death metal band that has got members from France, Hungary, and the United States. Been around since 2016. Most notably, they feature Attila from Mayhem and Joey Jordison, former Slipknot drummer. May he rest in power, among many others. This is their third EP overall, put out by Ear Music in 2017. Yeah, really glad to have this in the collection. I do have their two full lengths, and I was able to find digital copies of their other two EPs, which I think only one of them got released on CD, so I would love to track down a copy of that at some point. This next band, I'm totally going to butcher this name, and I apologize, but this is Incardine with Seeds of Doom. If you're not familiar with this band, it is a death metal band from Sweden that was active between 1991 and 2019, featuring current and former members of bands such as Unleashed, Firespawn, Siebenbergen, Necrophobic, among many others. This is a 2021 reissue on Vic Records, which that label is putting out a lot of cool stuff. But this actually contains their Moment of Connection and demo number 2 demos, both from 1992. Definitely worth checking out. Next up, dsnyder with Leave a Scar. Of course, you know, dsnyder, most well known as the singer for Twisted Sister. He's been around since 1974, based out of Queens, New York. He also has a couple other projects, Widowmaker and Desperado, both of which are not around anymore, and he's been doing the solo album thing since 1997. This is his fifth full-length album out on Napalm Records. Once again, this is produced by Jamie Josta from Hatebreed, and also has many other guest appearances from such members as Howard Jones from formerly of Killswitch Engage and Light the Torch, as even Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse is on this album, so that is really cool. And of course, you know, I happened to find out that Newberry Comics was releasing a edition of this, so of course I have two copies, one of them signed by dsnyder. So yeah, now I can say I have his last two albums, both signed by him, so that's really cool. Next up, Infestation with The Antecedent. And check out that artwork. Is that not cool or what? But yeah, this is a death metal band from Massachusetts that was active between 1992 and I believe 1994 was the last year that they were active. They are currently split up, and featured former Cryptopsy vocalist Mike DeSalvo on vocals. And this is essentially just a compilation of both their demos, and is co-released by Raw Skull Records and Redefining Darkness Records, limited to 500 copies on CD and 100 copies on tape. They all come in this all black jewel case, and yeah, very cool stuff. Here's the kind of artwork there for at least the CD, so yeah, definitely go check this one out. Next up, the next couple come from Headsplit Records, starting things off with Glacier with their self-titled. And yeah, Glacier are a heavy / power metal band based out of Portland, Oregon. Been around since 1979. This is their debut EP, originally put out by Axe Killer Records on 12-inch vinyl back in 1985. And this is a 2021 reissue on Cult Metal Classics out on CD. Awesome, awesome stuff. I actually have their previous full length, which is just kind of a spur of the, you know, kind of a blind buy, I guess you could say, when I bought it, and I'm damn glad that I did, because that one is really hard to find, so I was really happy to find this on Headsplit. And then we have Scabbard with Beginning of Extinction, and I really love that cover art. We're Scabbard, death metal band out of Czechia, been around since 1992. This is their debut full-length album, originally put out by Infestation Productions back in 1996. And this is a Awakening Records reissue from 2020, limited to 1,000 copies. All right. Next up, Dungeon Serpent, World of Sorrows. And if you're not familiar with this band, this is a one-man project playing melodic death metal based out of Vancouver, BC, Canada. Been around since 2019. Debut full-length album out on Nameless Grave Records just this year. And yeah, very solid stuff. Definitely go check this out if you love good melodic death metal. And the last one, I believe that I got from... Actually, I think I got one more after this one that came from Headsplit Records. I actually already own a copy of this, but I wanted this particular version because it is actually the standalone of the album. I did get another copy from Comatose Music, and it had a bunch of bonus tracks tacked onto the CD. And I liked having the bonus tracks, but I cannot stand when they don't put it on, like, you know, a second disc with that many bonus tracks. But anyway, this is Paralysis with Patrons of the Dark. If you're not familiar with this band, it is a death metal / grindcore band from, what is it, Metairie, Louisiana. Probably totally butchered that name. Active between 1989 and I believe 1992 was the last year that they were active. Featured Ben Foulgoose from Goat Whore on vocals, and this is the band's lone full-length album, originally put out by Grindcore International in 1992. And this is a 2021 reissue out on Headsplit Records. And as I said, just contains the album itself, all 13 tracks, which is how I prefer to listen to it, because, you know, I like bonus tracks and everything, but I kind of prefer it when, you know, there's maybe a couple on the end, but when you have a ton of them and you tack them all on there, put it on a second disc. It's way easier. And this one should be the last one from Headsplit Records, and that is the brand new one from Cerebral Rot, Excretion of Mortality. And if you're not familiar with this band, they are a death metal band from Seattle, Washington. Been around since 2016. Second full-length album out on 20 bucks spin just this year. Really solid death metal. Definitely go check this one out. And last but not least, got this from Hell's Headbangers. And I am super excited that they were able to get this in, because everywhere else just didn't seem to have it. And that is Vincent Crowley with Beyond Asheron. Again, really love that album cover. And of course, Vincent Crowley, this is basically the namesake project of Vincent Crowley, who is formerly of Asheron. And they play a death, doom, kind of black metal hybrid. Based out of Columbus, Ohio. Been around since 2019. This is their debut full-length album out on Hellhammer Records. Limited to 500 copies. And I actually got number 16, if you can see it down there in the corner. I actually didn't even realize that this was hand numbered until I was, you know, writing down the info for this. So yeah, really cool to have such a low number. And yeah, that is going to do it for this part. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.